Chance for Torquay. Chris Hargreaves, the captain. If he stays offside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benny. Sills.
Hello and welcome to this week's Gull'S Eye View. I'm joined by Clive and joined by Chris. We're going to celebrate two things. Obviously, Talky Talk, what we're all here for, about what everyone's here. We've won an award. We're now an award-winning podcast. Bronze. But it's still an award-winning podcast. That is the main thing, not at all the amazing result last night. And I think a really good draw at Boreham Wood as well at the weekend, those conditions. Right. We'll start at Boreham Wood though. Clive, talk me through that game. I was listening to it on the radio commentary. But for me, obviously we need wins, but that's a game Torquay would have lost for about the last 10 years, and we didn't. So talk us through your thoughts on it.
Absolutely. I can do this fairly quickly, to be honest. It was blowing an absolute hooligan from right to left as we looked at it. So we were kicking into it in the first half and with it in the second half, and that did make a difference. It was a really good defensive display. We weren't fantastic going forward. We created very little really, but it wasn't an afternoon for that, I didn't think. Boreham Wood were what we expected. They were tough, they were physical, they'd been around the block a couple of times. Luke Garrard has, been there for a long time. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to set a team up. It would have been nice if we converted one of our sort of three corners late in the game, but we didn't, and we came home. Sorry, there just isn't much to say. The one bit that sticks in my mind is James Hammond made a really good save in the second half. They managed to slip their striker in down the right-hand side of the box, and he came out, and it looked to me as though it was going to be a penalty, but he just got a big left hand out to the ball, scooped the ball off the guy's toe, clean as a whistle, and we lived to fight another day. And of course, with what happened on Tuesday night, I think that becomes a really good point.
Totally right. Yeah, draws sometimes are judged on what you do in the next game, really. And yes, we have drawn a few too many games season, but at the end of the day, we're improving. I just feel like we're steadily improving. Before we go on to last night, Chris, anything to add about Saturday's game?
No.
Good. Right. Neither do I. So yeah, on to last night's game. I wasn't there. Well, the only payment I've made to this season because I already booked a concert elsewhere. So I was just very happy in Plymouth Pavilions last night. But I felt like, and I said last week in the Tour episode, in that second half, I felt like I saw that a step up in the Torquay players where there was that they weren't questioning themselves as much anymore. They was getting stuck into challenges a little bit more. The commitment was always there. The work ethic was always there. But something just felt a little bit different. It was like a step up. And I thought that could be a changing point there. I've seen someone in this team which I knew was going to be there, and it now is. Now, the 0-0 at Boreham Wood, not pretty, but that also shows that resilience. Now, I'm not qualified, apart from watching the highlights, to talk any more about it, so I'm going to leave it to you two. Speak us through the game, because we've got a whole episode to fill now, because Boreham Wood doesn't really leave us as much. So, Chris, take as much time as you want to take us through the Weston-super-Mare game. What a night for our football club. Well done, Torquay.
Yeah, it was really good. Ultimately, it's a sort of game, as Cody said after the game, actually, it was a sort of game that had everything, penalties, red cards, drama, horrific weather conditions. But yeah, I mean, it was just, my dad did the verdict on Talky Talk yesterday, which you can catch on there. And he wrote down after an hour, he said to me, we're going to do well to get anything out of this. And I said to him, well, I guess it's moments like this you find out, don't you, what about your group and what you got in it in terms of, resilience and fighting spirit and being able to do the right thing. And as Watton said, actually, he takes a lot of credit, I thought, last night for he tactically read the situation right in various stages. But yeah, I mean, the first half was just really enjoyable. We were a bit, they had the ball a lot in the first few minutes, but then we got onto the front foot and we had a couple of, what I think they call them penalty box entries nowadays. But and we had, I know, madness, and we looked dangerous. I mean, the conditions didn't help anybody. But and then from nowhere, really, they scored the the goal, slightly disappointing goal in that you lose the first test, a bit lucky in that he kind of, his second touch gets a bit of a touch take him through. But I mean, Dreyer almost looks like he gets kind of, I think he's kind of flat footed, isn't he? And he misses the first touch, and it's a good finish. Luke Coulson's been around a long time, hasn't he? It's a good finish, but we didn't get our head down. Our heads didn't go down. We fought straight back. Lovely goal from Hassani, lovely hit into the top corner, and then we had a head of steam then, didn't we? And the second goal, we had a bit of luck, didn't we? We've not had a lot drop in the box for us, and we had a bit of luck under hit back pass, nicely taken by Jenkins Davis, who was outstanding on the night. And you just thought there, right, let's push on and get a third, and then we give away a set piece goal, which is I think Heyman has to be blamed for it, but blame might be going a bit far. There was traffic in the box, wasn't there? And it was difficult for him to get to it, but it was the sort of thing that you would want your keeper to do. And then, of course, right on half time, we have the golden opportunity to go ahead at half time. I think it is a penalty. At the time, I wasn't sure. I thought, ooh, it looked like he got a chunk of the ball, but having seen it again on the highlights today, he goes absolutely flying in, and it's a kind of man ball the lot job, and I think he has to kick through Folsom to get to the ball. So the overly dramatic penalty award from the referee. And you'd back Cook every day of the week from what I've seen. I've got a mate, as I said before, who's a Bath fan, and he's told me repeatedly that Cook's missed some pressure penalties, and it's a good penalty, a couple of feet higher, isn't it? It goes right in the top corner like the Salisbury penalty did.
Great save.
I thought it was a good save. I thought I did.
Yeah.
I was in Bristow's, so perhaps not the greatest view. I wondered, to be honest, he got to it so well. I wondered if he'd maybe stepped off his line, but not really. Took off to his right hand side, but of course it was savable, wasn't it? It was,
yeah.
If you hit the side netting, no goalie in the world's going to save it. So it was an okay penalty and a really, really good save, I thought.
Yeah, I think it's one of those where if the keeper dives the wrong way, you go, "Oh, what a cool penalty!" Giving him the eyes, but yeah, I think exactly that. And I think in this, but then so half time you went in, half time 2-2, you'd have been happy with that, but the penalty kind of gave you a bit of a gave you a bit of a frustrated feel, and of course straight after half time the red card changes the course of the game, and I think from a football supporter perspective, I hate that ruined the game. It was just two sides slugging it out, giving as good as they got, blow for blow, and it ruined the game because it had to change our approach to the game. It's not a red card in a million years for me. There's been a lot of debate about this on social media amongst the TORQUAYTALK chat. It's not. It just isn't. I mean, for me, it doesn't tick all the boxes they talk about now. He's not out of control. He's not left the floor. His studs aren't up. There just isn't enough there. I mean, it wasn't one as it happened. It wasn't one where you thought, "Oh, we might be in trouble here." He was late. He kicked him. He did it deliberately. He knew what he was doing. It was a yellow card.
He just got there now, Chris.
It was shin height. It wasn't high. He's just kicked him because he's got away. He stretched to get the ball, but he's taken the yellow card because he's getting away from him. Done. So the red card.
You seem worse given, for yellow.
I don't really. I have to say, I can't. I don't personally believe it's one of those where you can say I get why it was given, because I just don't. In the conditions, in the circumstance, with the tackle, it wasn't high either. If it was shin height, maybe, but it was ankle height. I just don't. I don't see what part of that is a red card. But I thought we took it well. We took. Watton reacted well. He got Threlkeld on straight away, which gave a shield to the defenders.
He's a great manager. He's a great manager. Sorry, he's a great man. That is the difference between a lot of managers. A lot of managers who I've felt for a lot of years that we've always had a manager who, when you look at opposition, why are they reacting quicker than us? Well, we get in the first half, they change it, and we never change. But he's a very clever coach and manager. And
he reacted from then on tactically. He got it all right, as Clive mentioned last night. He was in the players' ears a lot. He had Fulston over a lot. He had Hayfield over a lot, and there was just he was a lot of conversations, coaching, guidance, things he was noticing. And the key to that last half an hour was, yes, we defended well, but we got up the field into positions where we could score a goal twice and score twice. We took both opportunities, and the third goal. It's funny how you see things at the time. As it happened, I thought Hayfield had shanked it. It just hit Cook and went in. But then when you see the replay, it's a really clever little back heel because he reacts in time and flicks it behind his foot. And then the fourth goal, Hayfield's read it well. Got there first, and then if he'd have shot, I'd have backed him to score. If he'd have shot and he hadn't scored, you could have said, well, you can't blame him for shooting. But then he made the right choice and Cook finished it off. So Yeah, just a really good night. The atmosphere was great. Almost 3,000, and it was just yeah. Again, the weather was awful, but I don't think anyone really noticed it. It was just a really, and again, so when it went 3-2, he got Young off straight away. He got Palmer on, went to five at the back, and it was really good in that they went. When they went to five at the back, you could have said to Clive before, you could run a ruler along them. They went up together, back together. They were level. They held the spaces. They were just. It was just the organisation was that you could see the evidence of the work on the training ground. That's what you train. That's what you teach. That's what you coach. That organisation and structure doesn't come from nowhere. Yeah, really good.
Delighted.
Yeah, left me a lot there, Chris. But
well, you had Boreham. That's your fault. It was crap, not mine.
Yeah. Sorry. I'll come back on the red card. I didn't personally think it was a red card, but I can certainly see why the referee gave it. It is out of control. The guy Hassani has slid in from a long way away, and he's caught Reed incredibly late because actually, by the time he catches him, the ball is at the feet of an opposition midfielder, sort of 10 yards to Reed's left. He made the pass, and then he got clattered by Hassani. It wasn't a 2-footed challenge. It wasn't exceptionally high, but it did injure him. He was struggling. He did need a bit of treatment before he
That's not a parameter for whether it's a red card or not, though, is it? If someone gets hurt, because you can break your leg in the most innocuous thing going, can't you?
But, I know, but it was the worst tackle of the night so far, that far by a country mile. The referee, when you see the highlights which are shot from the pop side, the referee did have a good view of it. And
he made his decision very quickly, though, Clive, didn't he?
Yeah,
it's in the moment. You need to take time.
Didn't give himself time to think.
There is always that thing. I mean, if ever there was a night for slide tackles, that was it. But it was a really poor challenge. So for me,
it's a booking. It's a foul.
It's a shade of orange, to be honest. I've said maybe a light orange rather than a dark orange. But of all the decisions I've seen this season, that's not in the top 20 worst decisions. I can see why he did it, and he wouldn't have been the only referee to do that, I think, on those facts. So I think Hassani's he's a bit unlucky.
What's a goal by him as well, though? What's a goal as well?
Well, I was going to say, Sam, he was obviously playing with bucket loads of adrenaline because he actually got us back into the game, hadn't he, in the first half. Ball drops to him 20 yards out, and beautiful finish that just bends enough inside the far post. It was lovely, and by God, we needed that after conceding the first goal. Quick bit about the goalkeeper, because there's been quite a bit of debate on that overnight as well. I've seen it written, and I'm really surprised. I've seen it written that Hammond could have saved the first one.
No,
not in a month of Sundays for me. No. Never, ever. He was at fault for the second. He wasn't badly impeded. He just basically never got near the ball that went across his 6-yard box, and he has got to get them. But I'm gonna say he's had a good couple. He's had a good few games.
He's been huge for us. He's been huge for us.
Boreham Wood. I will shut up in a minute, Sam. But Boreham Wood on Saturday, we absolutely needed people to stand up, and he did. He was faultless on Saturday, in horrific conditions, and in conditions that were almost as bad last night. Not quite as much wind, but torrential rain again. He's made that one mistake. The rest of it was fine. So he is our goalkeeper for the season. He's not the best goalkeeper that's ever laced up boots for the club. I don't think that if we were to get promoted, I'd want him between the sticks, but he's Paul Watton's definite first pick. He's been brought from Truro. And I think, I'm not saying we need to get behind him, because people need to make their own minds up about players, but he is our number one, and he's doing all right at the minute.
I'm behind him. I'm behind him. He had a bit of dodgy form about a month or two ago, but keepers will.
Yeah,
I'm afraid.
And as Paul Watton mentioned it,
and you notice it more in goal. Obviously, it's the hardest position on the pitch by a million miles.
Yeah, and as Paul mentioned at the press call last week, we've had debates about whether or not he should be making some of the saves, but there's been no need for that in the last month, has there? You know, he has. We've gone through November unbeaten so far, and he's a big reason for it. One final thing on the red card, and I will shut up. It's just around the things you listen to and the things you learn and the terminology you look at from all the VAR decisions. And if you look at those boxes that to be ticked, I get what he's saying. He knew what he was doing, and he thought, "Crikey, I'm not going to get there," and he stretched in to either try and get a toe on the ball or rip him up. And there's no doubt about that. But if you look at the parameters within VAR, it wasn't out of control. It wasn't. It was just a slide tackle. He didn't jump. He didn't lose all of his body weight through him. He just slid in. There wasn't excessive force. It wasn't over the top of the ball. It just doesn't meet any of the. That was not again
ball.
Well, no, but in terms of where the tackle was,
Yeah.
I guess one of the things that'd be interesting is once that had been given, if there was VAR there, it would have been interesting to see what that was, because actually, there was a tackle in the Southampton Liverpool game at the weekend, wasn't there, when Lallana got away with a tackle that was far worse than that. So
that one that's been rescinded in our league, the one that I can't remember, was it to do
can
with
we all
Worthing?
agree on one thing, that it's a great job there's no VAR there? And
Absolutely.
I hate talking about refereeing decisions. Sick of it every week.
It's killing.
I think
it's you
it's an interesting debate, though.
I think any decision, can you? Because they're all, anything can get overturned, and you're just standing around like a lemon waiting for something to happen.
Can't celebrate goals anyway.
I think it is one of those, though, Sam. It really is one of those. It's not. I kind of get, and I think if that had been on a Torquay player, would we have been howling for a red card? I don't think we would. The second one later on in the game, there was a worse tackle later on. There was a yellow card, wasn't there, Clive?
It didn't look a great challenge at the time. It wasn't on the highlights that I've seen, so I don't know that I can comment on that.
It looked like he went to do him to me. But
I'm not saying that Lyric Asani deserves to be out for 3 games. I'm saying that I understand why the referee gave it.
Yeah, it's just for him, it's frustrating. Having seen it again, I don't know you'd get rescinded on appeal, but what the club will do, we'll have to send journalist Clive in tomorrow and find out.
Yeah, we'll try and find out what the club's view on that is. What I would say is, unless Paul Watton's been taking acting lessons, he didn't dispute it massively at the time.
He mentioned it in the interview after either, did he?
Accepted it and was sort of focused on what had to come next. But actually, normally, if a player gets a red card and it's the manager's not happy with it, that'll be very evident. And Paul's emotional on the bench. And reacting.
No, he wasn't.
And he also in his interview afterwards, he just referred to the sending off. He didn't have anything to say about the decision. He'll probably talk about it for 20 minutes tomorrow now, but so far he hasn't.
Would he have had nothing to say about it if we'd lost the game, I wonder?
Who knows?
Luckily, we don't know. Who cares?
I agree. Right, so going forward to the weekend, Enfield away. That first game of the season seems a long time ago now. The first game of the Bryn era, Paul Watton's first game. I love that
going 1-0 down in the first 5 minutes.
So Torquay. But I just it's been a roller coaster of a season already. Really, I've loved it. Absolutely loving it. Most I've enjoyed a Torquay season in a long time, and now I finally feel like we're really getting almost to the peak of our peak of our ability, and that's really important because it's, as we learned a few years ago now, it's not good to peak by October. To gradually build is very, very good, which we are doing, and I'm excited. So that'll be our 20th game of the season played, which is a nice little landmark, and close to halfway, and we're still around the top. And as we all say, all of anyone involved with Torquay, I haven't felt like we've hit our peak yet. It hasn't felt like we've really, really got going. But we've been consistent in what we've been doing.
We've lost 3 games, haven't we?
That is also impressive.
Lost league games. I mean, that's
impressive.
That's solid.
We need to win more than 9, but they say draws kill you, don't they?
Draws, if we're being, a week ago we were quite concerned, and it's still quite thin margins, because a draw on Saturday didn't feel, it was a good sense of achievement getting out of there with a draw, but actually another game we hadn't won. So, we might be just viewing it slightly through the prism of a fantastic Tuesday night.
We definitely are. We need to definitely go on a couple win streak now because
Yeah.
you go for 2 points a game, don't you? If we had 2 points a game, we'd be top now. When we did the 5 game review and It's All Gone South, we had 2 points a game. When we did a 10 game one, I'm pretty sure we did them, and we were creeping up, and now we would be top. We are obviously 34 points from 19 games, so we're 4 points off that now. But it just takes a couple wins, and that'd be what, 3 or 4 in a row, and then if we could hit top of the league by Christmas, we don't know. But on the other hand,
Oh, that's funny. Calm it
Truro.
down.
I know, but it's true. I believe so much. I'm so proud of this team, honestly, and what they're doing. But Truro, Weston-super-Mare, they're good teams at this level. Eastbourne doing brilliantly. Dorking, oh, you just knew they were going to come back. I thought they did. Thought they would anyway. So it's for me. I think it's exciting. I just want Torquay to be there and around. It'd be so much fun to have a title promotion race this season. The main thing is just getting it done. That if we score 7th place and win the playoffs, who cares? But I really believe in aiming for that 2nd and 3rd place is a bit better and being around that. We've gone through so much rubbish as Torquay fans for a long time,
Yeah.
and just believe and turn up and watch your team. That's really, we've got a bit. It's been a few frustrations with all of us, for everyone, the players and everyone. The last month, but that's football. It's going to happen, and it's about working it out. But we're
I've got
still
a question
there.
for you.
Yes, go for it, Clive.
Either of you can answer this.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible to sustain a promotion season if you've got 96 away fans?
Yeah.
Weston last night brought 96 down the motorway to Plainmoor. I have been known to bang on about this before, and I know that we are at the moment the biggest club in the division. So yeah, fine. It's allowed to have lower support than Torquay United, but really, you're unbeaten in 15 games. You've got a 6-point lead at the top of the league. You've got an hour and a half's journey down, admittedly, a wet M5. How on earth have they only brought 96 people with them? What are these people seeing that we're not seeing? Have they just got lives and we haven't? I don't know.
Yeah, is it a percentage? I mean, if I had ever had time, you could do some analysis on the percentage of your away support. But I guess a club like Torquay, I guess there's a lot of people that live further away, aren't there? Because I guess Torquay's a sort of place where a lot of people move away for work and family, and don't they? So it feels like it feels, doesn't it? I mean, imagine if we were top of the league going to Weston on a Tuesday night. I mean, even not. How many were there last year? 700-800?
1,000.
Yeah, horrendous.
I know it was like the early honeymoon of Gary Johnson, but we took 1,000 there. I think we took 800 last year, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm honest with you, I get your point. Attendances don't get me wrong. I really miss the days when the away end would be done. But no, I think attendances. Depends how much those people are behind your team for me. So if you're turning out with 80 fans and 79 of them are all behind you, yeah, that's fine.
They sang. They sang, but I just think it's pathetic. Honestly,
and that's okay, Clive.
I don't know. You can't drag people in off the street, obviously, but I don't get it. I don't get it.
No,
because it's a quick little trip down the motorway, isn't it?
We are, but
anyway,
glad you got off the chest.
I think what the other good thing that's been so good is the fact that, and it was, you hoped it would always happen, is that with the squad and it being new squad again. Cody mentioned that interview after the game, didn't he? That that they're getting better, and as Watton keeps referencing, it's about being better every day, and it's about getting and we're seeing. He said, didn't he, at the weekend, from him and the stuff that Mikey work on. He said you can see that we're the things that we're working on, you're seeing in games and you're seeing in training sessions, and they're getting better. And I think the other thing which is key, and the owners referenced it in the program notes last night. I got a program last night, so I want to be pleased to know. And
I was worried all night about it, honestly.
I can imagine.
Didn't sleep.
No, and they made reference to the fact that the players they've added to the squad have made a difference. In that Young and Thomas have made a real difference. Young's probably not scored as many as you might have thought, certainly after his debut, but he's a big part of what they're trying to do and getting the ball down and the way they're trying to attack. I still think we need to find ways to get him and Musa or him and Hassani or whoever's in that kind of left forward role into positions to hurt teams more. But last night, I mean, Musa's frustrating, isn't he? But Young got on the ball much more and kind of he's got quick feet and very one-footed. So I think that they're getting better. They've brought good players in as that's happening and developing, which is, nothing but a positive sign.
I agree. I think, and also when you have a good system like we're building now, or not so much we're building, we're getting used to, the players getting used to, is that when someone does have a bit of a poor game, it's still going to work. That makes sense. You're not just relying on individuals as such. So I am very positive. I'm not sat here, if any opposition fans are watching for whatever reason, sat here, oh, hey, so we're going to win the league. Oh, but
They
I'm
won't
just
be watching, Sam.
I won't be watching good,
Talking Like podcast.
yeah, I mean, you'd hope not.
Award,
You better hope
winning
not.
Talking
Else you're
Like
going to have
podcast,
96
Clive.
angry messages.
Talking United podcast, yes.
Yeah, you're going to have 96 angry messages from Weston-super-Mare fans if they're all watching. But yeah, I just feel that
They can send me 10
it's
each.
exciting.
It's still not that many.
I just think I just think it's really exciting. I'm buzzing. I don't look very buzzing because I've had a cold.
Wouldn't that be 900? That'd be
buzzing.
900, 960, wouldn't it? Messages. That's
so,
quite a lot.
I think so.
Quite a lot of mass.
Well, you say
Well
that.
done, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, Clive was saying just before we went on, before we went to start recording, good away point against a tough rival, beat the league leaders at home. We're buzzing for a 2-0 defeat away at Enfield on Saturday.
Yeah, bomb the league away.
That's what's coming. That's what's coming. Conceded 40 goals.
Definitely. We've all
been
been there, haven't we?
One. Back to square one. And that's football.
Cody Cook breaks his leg. Yeah, tell me how good we are then. I do think we haven't got another Cody Cook at the minute, have we? So keeping him fit is very
imperative.
Important. I enjoyed his interview, didn't you? Last night.
Brilliant. Really good. Really enjoyed it. It's good, isn't it? Well spoken. Yeah, mind you, in his profession, he's got to be good with words, I suppose, hasn't he? But yeah, absolutely, yeah, really good, and looking forward to our day on the trains, not to London Euston like you spotters might have spotted Great Western went to the other week, but off to Paddington, aren't we, Clive, on Saturday morning?
Oh, absolutely buzzing for that, Chris. Yeah, tremendous. We'll be able to look at the flooding on the way, no doubt.
We will. Yeah, it's very bad.
The big smoke. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, get on that. We'll be on that Lizzie line, Clive. What may be good. Looking forward to it.
Wonderful.
2-0 win. 2-0 win. You heard it here first.
I am going for
it. Was actually a question on Pointless last night. I would have said Maidenhead. That was pointless. Fantastic.
Amazing.
Brilliant. I'm going 2-1 Torquay. 2-1 Torquay I'm going for.
Oh, sorry. We're talking about football again. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Torquay should win it, shouldn't they? It should be 3-1, really.
Okay. 3-1. Yeah.
Yeah, what could go wrong? Hey, what could go wrong? Torquay United Football Club, what could go wrong?
Did we not concede in the first 5 minutes at home to Enfield?
Yes, fine.
We did. Yeah, we did.
Always believed in them.
Yeah.
Resilience.
We'll
be good.
Yeah, so thank you for watching this week. We're only doing one episode this week. We'll have Tom back next week. He did send
We're not singing then.
Oh, right. Yeah, go on. Do your final bit then. We'll have Tom next week back.
In the spirit of Kelly's Corner, there was a call for new football songs. The pop side was singing a Lyric Hassani song last night, so fair play. It's probably eclipsed the "Oh, I want to dance with Hassani." It's probably better than that. The only other one I've got, my son has asked me to read out. There's a Cody Cook one. So the Cranberries with Zombie.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And it's something like Cody is in your head. It goes a bit like that.
Brilliant. Cody. Yeah, I like it.
Cody.
Is he coming on Saturday, Clive?
No, mate.
Cody Cook.
Oh no! We'll have to try on our own, Clive, won't we?
I hope you're not standing too close to like the microphone or the BBC.
Yeah.
We also had. I remember when we signed Jordan Young. We Are Young by Is It Fun? Tonight We Are Young, but tonight something like Jordan Young. So it's something like that. Yeah. I'm very disappointed no one's come up to the Kaizens, any of like you by the Kaizens. Anything, if anyone can come up with a talkie chance of that, I'll have to say well done.
I'd have to look for their music first, Sam, before I could do that. But
No, it's deep buried somewhere. So yeah,
Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff.
Shameless plug that, Swanee. Shameless.
I'll buy you all a t-shirt for Christmas if you want.
I'll put it underneath my Torquay Christmas jumper.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh wow, sold out in no time, didn't they?
Did they sell out? Did they?
Yeah, I believe so. I
didn't even know they were available.
I also believe the club's trying to get some more, but
nice.
Yeah, there were scenes in the shop last night. I've been told.
Bet.
Yeah.
I didn't even know
they're quite niche, aren't they? Their Christmas jumpers, because you're going to wear it like 5 times in a month, and then it's gone again for another year, isn't it? So it's quite niche. I might get a hoodie instead. It's more, all year round, isn't it?
Yeah,
investment.
See what Father Christmas brings.
Thank Martin Lewis.
Absolutely, it's that time of year, isn't it?
Finally, as we mentioned at the start, we have won an award. Thank you for everyone who had voted in the first sort of bit, and for all the support we've had, not just from Talking United fans as well, from a bunch of amateurs, I'm told, at the night as well, and people like Chris Phillips we've had along the way. It's been one hell of a year. From my personal viewpoint, it's put me into places I never thought. I don't know how I ended up there, to be fair, and I've loved meeting all of you. As I said, I think what we've done here has been fantastic. I've put so many hours into this personally, and Don put so many hours, we all do, into the site, but the amount of hours and thought that goes into these episodes, well, sometimes thought that goes into this episodes and all that, we all do it on our own time, and it's brilliant, and I've absolutely loved it, and all the hard work has paid off for us, of course. Clive, you were going to say a bit?
Yeah, mate. That is the worst acceptance speech I've ever heard.
I'll do it again.
But I'll tell you what. I've only been doing this for 5 minutes. I blagged my way onto this in the summer, and I love everything.
I got you on. I had a car journey with you, Clive, and I was like, he's gold dust. Got to get him involved. That would have been
Taunton, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Taunton away. I spent a few hours with you in Taunton away, and I was like, right, we've got to get him on. And then we did the fan hub video, didn't we?
No, honestly, just to be serious, just for a second. Sam, you absolutely work your backside off for this. You do all the tech stuff that we don't understand.
Yeah.
Chris,
definitely.
Dom, you've all been at this a lot longer than I have, and it's your award, really. We are the third best non-league podcast in the country. There you go. Thank you for everybody who voted for us. Thank you to everybody who watches us every week, including the fella who was selling the 50-50 tickets in the rain last night, who recognised me off YouTube.
Yeah, Paul.
Mate. Thanks for all you do for the club as well. There's hundreds of volunteers around Torquay United, and to be honest, that award's for them as well. So
we do all this for the fans. That's what we do. We do it for not our fans, the Torquay United community. It was set up as a voice for the community, really, and to represent it and listen to. I love listening to everyone's opinions. I try and take in as many as possible and make sure we're representing as many as they are in reason. We just do that. So yeah,
it's nice to be a bit happier as well. It was bad enough watching the games at times last year without having to talk about it as well and go on YouTube and be a miserable bugger every week. So it's just nice to be able to be in part of a club that you can be. It has a feel good factor. The games are fun to go to. The players are given everything, and it's just nice to be able to be a bit more positive as well, isn't it? But absolutely, it's to be recognised for anything in life is big, isn't it? So it's fantastic to have won that last week. Should have been gold, but let's not go on about that.
Yeah. Thank you so much to everyone who has watched this week and all stuff like that, and all the nice comments last week as well. I'm usually quite tired by the time of this episode, so I think I'll edit this, have a nice rest, and then look forward to Enfield away at the weekend. Go on, Torquay. Don't do a Torquay and get 3 points. See you next week.
Here's Hargreaves, chance for Torquay. He stays offside. Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benyon.